Well, then it was worth the wait.
Of course, I don't ever say no.
All right, Coach, whenever you're ready with an opening statement.
Yeah, great, great way to take game one. I thought Aiden pitched well. Cam and Jack Crichton, Andrew Chufo, all 3 RBIs each for our 9 runs. But the pitching we got from Aiden and McGovern and Garris and even Malsep, it wasn't, even though we gave up a couple of runs, one was a blooper, one was an infield single. We had an error in there, so it wasn't that bad. It was just a good job of shutting it down any way we can do it. So, as we kind of ride the dip and on the upswing, we just got to try to stack positives together so we can, build some momentum for ourselves on the way up. But that's how you fight through it. You have games like tonight where, look like maybe we're a little tight at times, and then it looked like we were bust out and have a couple of big innings, and then it looked like it was nip and tuck there at the end. But proud of the way our guys fought. We've got great kids. If anything, it's more over try, and because they want it so bad, and they want it for everyone, the fans in the school and each other. And but when they're out there, having fun, competing hard, playing hard, we're at our best. And so just love to see them be able to pull that out and set a good tone. And obviously there's a lot of weekend left. That's a very good team with Duke. They do everything well. And so we'll have our work cut out for us, but certainly great to get game one.
You said getting those other things, getting through some things. Obviously, getting clutch hits tonight had to be one of those things where we finally kind of maybe getting over that hump a little bit compared to the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, getting the big 2-out RBI. The 2-run shot by Chufo proved to be huge. But just creating those run-scoring opportunities. They didn't come as frequently at the end of April and early May as what we would have liked. So just finding ways to score runs and to get 9 runs on a Friday in the ACC, that's tough to do. Glad our guys fought through it, and the 2-out hitting is going to be back, and the 2-out RBIs are going to be back, and got a couple of big ones tonight from Chufo with a huge hit.
Coach, the leadoff bunt single by Priest in the 4th started the 6-run onslaught. Quite a call that you made there. Take us through that.
I had nothing to do with it.
No.
The only one I had something to do with was at NC State when they did the shift, and Colin did it for the first time there and got a base hit out of it, and just said to him way back then a couple weeks ago, hey, if you ever see a drastic shift, it's a free hit if you ever want to do it. And so more teams have not shifted on him, and they didn't shift until he had 1 strike. And so, it's all a credit to Colin on that one. So that was a huge part of the inning. And then the next huge part of the inning was Jacob Jarrell, Jack Crichton, Josh Pano, and Andrew Chufo all started their at-bat that inning with an 0-2 count. And we went walk, single. So just to battle back from an 0-2 count, just to string those quality at-bats together, that was big time as well. And of course, Jack with the 2-run single and Chufo with the RBI single to take the lead. And then of Cam of course clearing the bases. So it was a cool inning. But yeah, that the whole thing gets started with a Colin Priest drag bunt hit. That was good. Yeah, that was pretty special.
What happened with Darden?
So we have quite a few guys who are hyper competitive. They get caught up in the moment and maybe act like college kids, caught up in the moment. And he stomped on home plate. And the rule is the umpires have to enforce the rule. They got to keep everybody back. You can't go all the way to the plate, and you certainly can't step on the plate like that. So he Linus made the right decision. He had to eject somebody there. So, Darden, drew the short stick on that one, and but in the heat of the moment, you can see why he did it, especially under the circumstances of the last couple of weeks. But obviously, we won't be doing that moving forward.
Coach, you mentioned Cam, big night for him, 3 for 4, reached base 4 times with the big double, obviously. That first single that he went opposite field, beat the shift, he seemed real fired up after that. And then he goes opposite field again for the base clearing double. He's gotten to shift a lot this season. Has that been like a point of emphasis for him?
Yeah, well, he's just, hitters who take what the pitchers give them. And if they're shifting and you're still trying to pull the ball, it can be, can be a tough combination. But when you can actually, go with the pitch and it's away, and especially two breaking balls there, left on left, and to let it get deep and hit it the other way, and especially, to lead off the game with a 2-strike base hit like that, and then or to lead off the bottom of the first, and then to get that 3 RBI bases clearing. I mean, that was big time. So really good approach. And Cam, we've had a few hitters like that. Cooper Engle's another one where they could, if they were taking batting practice, they could hit it wherever they want to. They just have that type of bat control. But sometimes they're so focused on trying to hit it as hard as they possibly can. They're not always, so for Cam to take what the pitcher gave him there and go the other way and found a big hole on both times and ended up with 2 hits and 3 RBIs, that's a good sign.
I wanted to ask you, how's Reed? Looked like he was kind of grimacing a little bit.
Yeah, he tweaked his back. He's had sore back in the past. He was a catcher before he was a pitcher, so something he always is cognizant of and working on. And right before that, he had the 3-1 cover, and I don't know if he hit the base funny or what, but he'll be fine. He tweaked it. It's from what he was explaining out there, sounded like a muscle spasm. It was kind of grabbing on him. So hopefully we'll get him back quick. I don't know if quick like tomorrow, but I think he'll be back in there fairly soon.
A crazy 9th inning, like you said, but how good was it for Lucas to be in that kind of a pressure situation after what happened in Tallahassee and come through?
Exactly. Yeah, you just got to get back on the horse and go for a ride again, and and he'll be back out there in that situation again when it comes up this weekend. And he's our guy, and he's arguably the best to have ever done it at Clemson in that role, and we'll need him to certainly be able to close down those tight games like he's done all year, because that's a big part of the success we've had this season.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Sorry to keep you guys again.